I'm told you're very expensive.
I don't know where that came from. I thought that was one of the most affordable. It is an imagination.
It is?
We imagine that is so. But it is not so.
Yeah?
Oh yes, my clients will testify to that. People get surprised that I am so affordable.
When you say so affordable, what exactly do you mean, for instance? Would you do, how often do you do pro bono?
So very often. To the surprise of so many people. So very often.
Well, you did it pro bono for 9 months.
Yes.
But of course that was for your party.
And for the country.
And for the country.
Yes.
All right. And also, I'm sure if you listen to radio, watch TV, you see how a lot of young lawyers have taken up to media houses, the proliferation of the media, to discuss cases in court. The Chief Justice has spoken about this before. We've had senior lawyers also complain. What would you say could be attributing to this?
I think it's mainly a desire to get recognition. It's some form of marketing, which is frowned upon by the legal profession. You see, you should earn your reputation in the court, not on the radio, because it is in the court that your capabilities can be properly assessed. And therefore, when you go out there on the radio and you pipe out your capabilities, you are somehow misleading the general public who will take to you when maybe you are not competent enough in that respect.
Does it irk you?
I find it quite disconcerting, As a rule, I never grant interviews. 9 months in the petition, I never granted any interview until afterwards. And I've done other big cases and I never granted interview in respect of the matter that was pending. And we have had, in this country, we've had senior distinguished lawyers who have never appeared on radio. So why can't the young ones do the same? When their reputation went before them, they didn't appear on radio, but everybody knew that, yes, these were giants in the legal field. So you really do not need to go on radio to establish that reputation.
But the legal counsel is watching all that. I mean, it's happening every now and then.
Yes.
And the senior lawyers like you are also sitting down. You're not talking about it. You're not talking to these young lawyers.
Well, we have a kind of lacuna in our rules and laws which we have to look at. We need to empower, for instance, the Bar Association, because in America and so on, is the Bar Association that can discipline lawyers. And once that power is given to the Bar Association, I think some of these things can be tackled. For now, it is moral suasion, and I do not think it is working.
Okay. Do you remember the very first case that you won? Back in 88.
Yeah, it was a case handed over to me by Nana Akufo-Addo.
Oh, you knew him way back then?
I started from his firm.
Okay.
Yeah. From the time I was called to the bar. That's where I practiced till I set up my own firm. Yeah, it was a case that I took over accidentally. And I had quite a turbulent start in that case. It was a baptism of fire. Because when Nana Akufo-Addo gave me the brief, he said he was traveling, so I should go to court and take a date. So I took the file, very fat file, went home, slept. I was quite fresh at the bar. Then got to the court the next day. It was a packed court. Those days it was Justice Brobe's court. He had come from Zimbabwe. He had a recording system, so his court was quite popular. Everything was fast and recorded. So eventually my case was called. I was doing it against a very senior lawyer. As soon as he got up, oh, Mr. So-and-so, then they wrote his name. When I got up, what is your name?
The unknown.
Unknown, That immediately starts the intimidation. You see that you are unknown, right? So then I announced myself as holding the brief of Nana Akufo-Addo. And I said, well, he has traveled and he asked me to take a date. And the judge just looked at me incredulously and said, did I hear you say you're coming to take a date? I said, that's my instructions. And he said, you just stand back and look behind the court. I turned, there was this very heavily pregnant woman sitting there. He said, your senior requested a recall of a witness. She had come all the way from Kumasi, and you are telling me you are taking a date? And I hadn't read, I hadn't even opened a page, I had no clue. So he said, no, we're going on. We're not taking a date. We're going on. She has been recalled. She's here. You have to cross-examine her. I pleaded and pleaded that I am not prepared, so I needed time. After much persuasion, the judge agreed that I come the following day. Now, I didn't even have the proceedings and all that. So, well, we adjourned. I tried searching for it. It was a brief that had been brought to the firm because we acted as external solicitors for Ghana Cargo Handling Company at the time. So they had started this case, and it got to a point they decided to hand it over to external solicitors. So I believe Nana Akufo-Addo, having gone through the brief, thought that he needed to recall this witness that had testified for further cross-examination. Now, of course, I have no instructions on what these issues he was looking for are. So the next day I came, not much different from the day before. So when I asked the first question, and you see that court, the judge did not write, it was recording, so it's so fast. You don't have time to think. Ask the first question, the judge says, don't waste our time. This question has been asked already. Why did you bring it here? Second question, Mr. Addison, you're wasting the time of the court. This question. Third one, same thing. I said, my Lord, I'm done.
So how did you win it?
But I won it. So that's why I remember. I won it.
Miraculously. Oh, wow. That's a very interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, so moving on. Are any of your kids interested in the law at all?
I think the second one, yes.
You pushed them?
No, I leave them to free choice. Because really,
that's
nobody
what every
pushed
parent
me.
said.
Nobody pushed me.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't see the need to push.
Are your parents still around?
My father is.
Your father is around. He must be proud of you, seeing you on TV every day for 9 months.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so.
And would you say that the number of clients your firm receives has shot up since the end of the...
No, there hasn't been any exponential growth because, again, because of this belief and propaganda that, he's very expensive and we can't afford him and all that. It's keeping people at bay.
Yeah, does it worry you?
Not at all.
You're a rich man. You're comfortable.
I wouldn't say I'm rich. How do I describe it?
To offer services for free for 9 months. I don't see myself doing that for TV3 for even 1 month.
Well, TV3 is a commercial enterprise, so the one can understand. Why will you work in a commercial enterprise and not take fees? But that was not a commercial enterprise, you see. And so, it was quite a lot of us that sacrificed.
Yeah.
Yes. And it was quite an expensive business.
How much did the party spend on that election petition?
I have no idea of the figure, but I can imagine it runs into the millions. I mean, in terms of paper alone.
Millions of CDs?
Yes. Yes. In terms of paper alone. If you saw the amount of pink sheets that were filed in the court, huge. And we did it not once or twice, quite a number of times.
You could have saved yourselves of that cost.
By doing what?
By accepting the result.
No.
And not going to court?
No. People would have been dissatisfied. We used the legal avenue, legal channel. Everybody has been educated. I tell you that the next elections, these things that happen will not happen. It will be very smooth because now everybody has been educated. So it was national service, and it's good for the country.
Now, you said you've known Nanado since 1988. He's a man you know very, very well. You think he can lead this country? He has what it takes?
Oh, yes. Absolutely. I know him very well. I've worked with him since 1988.
So how come he's not winning elections? I mean, twice.
I don't think he's the first person to have lost elections twice. Some have lost it more times, and they've come back to win. Again, I always tell people, for. But that was a solid document in which I was involved with evidence backing it. When you do something like that, we can say these are disputed elections. When you sit in your room or you come on this station to say you are disputing elections, that cannot be called dispute. Because there's no election that is 100% proof. You see what I mean? By all means, there will be complaints here and there, but we're talking of a systemic rigging of elections that people are generally dissatisfied with. I'm not aware of that.
I see. Now let's go back to other light issues. I understand you are a ladies' man.
I'm hearing this. You must be doing quite some research.
You're not a ladies' man?
Not that I'm aware of.
At all? You've never heard this?
Not that I'm aware of.
I hear women are your forte.
Oh, yes, well.
Yeah.
I've remained single for too long.
You've been single, or you just don't want to get serious with anyone?
I've been single for how long now? 3-4 years now.
No relationship at all?
No.
Totally single?
Totally single.
For 4 years?
Yeah.
That's quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because from what I hear, the ladies love you and you love the ladies quite
well, maybe they love me, but I'm yet to reciprocate the gesture.
So women are not your... In fact, when I asked, what I was told was that women are his weakness.
Oh, is that so?
Yes.
Oh, thanks for telling me. I have to be on my guard.
Interesting. Are you religious?
I am.
Totally religious. Where do you fellowship?
Church.
Church. You belong to any societies?
In the church? No.
Outside the church?
Yeah.
Freemason?
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about
Freemason.
Yeah, how did you get into that?
Well, my father's been a Freemason for God knows how long, but my father did not talk to me about Freemasonry. Surprised my friends and so on. And then my brother got into it, and that really urged me to also get in. So that even though my friends have been urging me for quite some time, I wasn't keen on it until I realized my brother had joined, and I also joined.
And you're still a member. How long have you been a member of the Freemason?
I think since 2003.
Okay. I'm told that members of that society do not talk about the activities of Freemasons. Is that right? What do you do as a Freemason? What makes you a Freemason? If you say, I'm a Freemason, what does it mean? What do you do there? I've heard very strange stories.
I know. I myself, I get surprised when I hear some of those stories.
For instance, I'm told that once in a while you all sleep in coffins.
That's not true.
Okay. So what do you do as Freemasons?
It's a society of men. We meet and we sort of fellowship together. The first qualification for you to be a Freemason is you have to believe in God.
So you're believers?
You have to believe in God.
Okay.
And so, if somebody believes in God, what evil again could those people be?
So why do people associate evil with Freemasons?
Your guess is as good as mine. Your guess is as good as... We have priests, ordained priests in Masonry. Right? I could bring you our brochures here, our program, we sing hymns and so on to praise God.
But you go to a church, you
Yes.
do the same thing.
Yes.
So why do you go to Freemasons?
Why do it's like having an old boys meeting. Is there something wrong with that?
So what do you all have in common? Just that you believe in God? Is that the only thing you have in common?
Yes. So that way it allows so many people from different religions. It is not a religious movement. But that way, Muslims, Buddhists, what have you, can all join.
Do you accept anybody, any and everybody?
I'm doing the condition.
You have to believe in God.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the other condition.
Okay. How different is it from the Illuminati?
I have no idea what the Illuminati is about.
You don't.
I don't have
You
any-
smile. When you smile and you answer a question, I feel there is more you want to say, but you're just being hesitant to come out and
I
say.
can assure you that maybe you need to educate me on that. Then I can tell you that Freemasonry is not that.
So do you have any plans to dispel the perceptions people have about Freemasons? Because it looks like members of the Freemason are comfortable with the perceptions we all have about them.
No, I think that there's a conscious effort on the part of Freemasonry to be as open as possible, to dispel all these rumors. You have to look at the membership of Freemasonry. It's the cream of society.
Yeah?
Yes, the cream of society. And all those good men could not come and assemble for evil. No.
You undertake charity
Yes.
project?
Yes.
I once covered, when I started, reporting, the Freemasonry here in Ghana actually rehabilitated a ward at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. And as I was going, I had heard so many stories about Freemasons. I was actually very scared. And I got them to turn out to be very noble men.
That is it. I mean, the same thing. You can imagine those of us who joined, having heard all these stories. I'll tell you why I eventually joined Freemasonry. Because my father has been a Freemason for donkey years. My father is a good man. My father has done no evil. And then my brother joins. And my father was very fine with it. So I decided I'll join. So I was telling myself, if it is bad, no father, maybe he didn't know and he joined, and it's bad. No father will encourage his sons to join. So that was it.
Are you just two? Just two boys?
No. Four.
Four boys.
And one passed, my brother.
Ah, right. So just the three of you. And then you went on to have two sons as well. You wish you had a daughter?
I do. We're looking forward to that, unfortunately. Yes.
Yeah, but it's not too late, is it?
Oh. At this age.
How old are you?
I'll be 54 in November.
54 in November. Oh, you're pretty young. I mean, you look very good for a 54-year-old. I could give you 46.
Thank you.
All right. What's your take on divorces?
Divorces? Well, I've handled a few divorces. So I can tell you that when the love is gone, there's nothing that can be done. Yes, it's as simple as that. When people have fallen out of love, there's absolutely nothing that can be done.
Yeah, there are, societal pressure that, you said for better, for worse.
Yes. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people get into marriages on the wrong grounds, on the wrong considerations. So once they enter into it, then they begin to face reality and see that, they did not take into consideration certain things, and that's where the problem is.
Okay. Before we go, what are your hobbies?
My hobbies? I like watching movies, reading.
What kind of movies do you watch?
What kind of suspense, action, what have you? Yes.
You like everything?
Not everything, really.
Horror.
I don't like horror. I don't like it.
Okay.
Yeah. And
you read as well?
I read as well. And something I haven't had time to do, which I intend now to do, is to spend a lot of time on keyboards. I used to play the organ.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, my family, we all play the organ. And I want to devote more time to that.
Okay. And the very last before we go as well, corruption in Ghana. Your take?
I think that...
Do you think that this administration is committed, indeed, as the president tells us, to the fight against corruption?
I don't think I'm in a better position than Mr. Martin Amidu. Mr. Martin Amidu has said it all in respect of corruption and this government, and whether they intend fighting. Clearly, there's no will to fight it. I'll tell you what, the only way corruption can be fought is when the leadership itself is not corrupt. Because if people can point to your corrupt practices, you cannot preach to them. You cannot preach virtue to them when you are practicing corruption.
Who is practicing corruption?
So it has to be right from the top. People,
and that's what the president is doing.
People have to have the clear perception that you are not corrupt. You see,
you perceive the leadership of this country as corrupt?
I'm making a statement. I'm saying people have to perceive that this person is not corrupt, and therefore when they are minded to do anything, they will think twice. You see what I mean? But when the perception is that, oh, we're in a liberal situation, then it's a free-for-all. Then you make hay while the sun shines where you are. And that is where we are now.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Phillip
Thank you too.
Addison, for joining us this morning.